This is an excerpt of a recent PowerUP webinar on improving your job hunting skills. Hi, my name is LarryJordan. In this excerpt, learn how to succeed at a job interview. So now we're ready to move into the job interview. Now, before you go to the job interview, never assume that anyone has actually read your resume. If they're really busy, they're going to turf that out to a subaltern who's going to read it and decide whether you make the cut or not. They probably won't read your resume until you're starting to walk into the room, and while an assistant is escorting them into the room, they're skimming your resume to see what they're going to talk about first when you sit down. Second, never assume that people know what your courses covered or how hard they were to complete for students. In fact, never assume that people pay any attention to your background at all. They're too busy thinking about themselves to think about you. And never assume that people are impressed by the school you attended. They are hiring you, not your school. The job interview, just as everything else in the job process, there's a purpose to it. At the job interview, an employer is looking to see if you are competent, if you bring skills to the company that it currently lacks, if you'll fit in with other members of the group, and if you're interested in the job or just looking for a paycheck. I've had many of those interviews where the person says, just give me a job, I need to eat. I'm deeply sympathetic, but they don't get the job. Of these, how you fit in is the most important part of the interview. That's why the employer is chatting with you face to face. If you're young and they need competence, they will teach you if you fit in. If you're older, competence and skills are benefits you want to emphasize, but they're still looking to see how you fit in. I'll give you 3 examples. 1, a woman came in interviewing for a job that I had available. It was a marketing position. And she said, Larry, I am so excited to be meeting you. I've always wanted to meet you. I've learned so much from you. I could learn so much more from you. And she went on and on about how excited she was to be working with me because there was so much that she could learn from me. And the only thought going through my head was, girl, why am I paying you to learn? I'm paying you to get work done. I'm happy to teach you. But I'm not happy to teach you if your sole reason for being here is just simply to be a sponge and suck up information. Another is a person that just comes in, has no life, no energy, and just seems completely disinterested. If you're completely disinterested during a job interview, you will never get interested during the job. Why would I hire somebody like this? The employer is trying to determine if you're a good fit for the company, and you are trying to find out if the company is a good fit for you. My 3rd example was, in my company, half the people in my company are below the age of 25, and the other half are above 40. I love the diversity of people of different ages and different backgrounds because it just makes for a whole better company. But the people that were below 25, it was their very first job out of school, and they were still struggling to figure out what they wanted to be as they became adults and how to fit into the working world. An interview for a guy for marketing came in, had all the right skills, but was so self-absorbed and was so positive of all of his opinions being correct and so assertive. He would have destroyed the egos of everyone below the age of 25. He just run roughshod over them. As I was talking to him, he had the skills, had the knowledge, but there was no way he was going to fit in with the company. In the interview, there's a trick question that I always ask. First, I ask them to tell me about themselves, and after they've done that, we describe the job in some more detail and the kind of person we're looking for. Then, without anything obvious being said, I just simply say, so, do you have any questions? As though, I wasn't expecting any questions. I am stunned at how many people have no questions during an interview. I mean, you are about to commit your entire working life, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, to working with this group of people that you are just meeting for the first time, and you don't have any questions? This just simply tells me that you're just going through the motions. Because if you really were interested in a job, you'd have plenty of questions. So yes, interviews are intimidating, and yes, it's hard to think in an interview, so prepare questions ahead of time and read them from the sheet of paper in your lap. You want to take this time to emphasize skills that set you apart from the competition. You want to find out if you can learn from them, true, but you also want to find out if they can learn from you. And don't worry about the money. We're still primarily looking for fit. If I don't feel comfortable that you'll fit within the group, we'll never get to money. Jumping to money too soon bypasses that whole fit thing. And I'm happy to discuss money. So if we jump past the asking questions stage and the very first question is, how much does this pay? That tells me that we don't have a fit. We haven't captured your imagination. You're just there for the cash. It isn't until the employer feels that the employee is a good fit, both from a skills and personality point of view, that the conversation moves from an interview into negotiations. And here's the secret tip. The first person to mention money loses. When it comes to salaries, the law is changing quickly, especially in California. In an effort to remove pay inequality between men and women, employers are no longer allowed to ask about salary history in an interview. However, potential employees are allowed to mention past salary if they want. But not all states have adopted this practice, and volunteering your past salary is often a mistake. So, if an employer asks either what you're making now or how much you want, avoid answering this question, because in almost all situations, whatever number you mention will be less than the amount the employer intends to pay. Instead, dodge this answer. Say that this is a new position for you and you don't have a clear idea of what the traditional pay range is, or simply ask if they have a pay range in mind. Whatever you do, don't mention a specific dollar amount. Let the employer do that. Many, many times, especially in media, salaries are negotiable. Also, and this is for young persons especially, if you work for free, the chances are very good that the client will never pay you to work for them, because they've already got you working for free. Hollywood producers are notorious for this. I got pulled into this myself about 12 years ago. A guy called me up when I was just starting out as an editor. And he said, I've got this editing job. I can't pay you, but I am such a famous producer that your resume will benefit from having worked on me for free. Well, I didn't have anything else to do, so I said yes. I did the editing gig, delivered him the product. He never talked to me again, never gave me a paid job, never gave me a referral. So I learned my lesson. Free work isn't bad, but undefined free work is bad. I have no problem, and with a clear conscience, I'll work with interns for, say, 2 or 3 weeks, and all they're doing is job shadowing my company because they want to learn how it works. I don't have a problem with having them job shadow, and I don't feel obligated to pay, unless I'm required to, because I know that I'm not going to get any productive work out of them. But there's a clearly defined date after which free work ends. Either the internship is over, or I move them over into paid work. Also keep in mind that just because your time is free, or you choose to make it so, doesn't mean your computer, your schooling, your equipment, or your car is free. There's nothing wrong with saying, I'm happy to work for free, but can you pay me a stipend to cover gas? If they're so cheap as to not pay anything, then you have to ask yourself, is there any value? Can I learn anything here, or am I just being abused? And if the answer is they're just using you as free serfs, then go somewhere else. After the interview is over, always send thank you notes, because nobody does. Thank you notes will make you stand out. Email thank you notes are the easiest, but look at how you feel when somebody actually mails you a birthday card, as opposed to sending you a happy face in Facebook or an email that says, congratulations, happy birthday. The birthday card's special. It stands out. Why? Nobody sends them anymore. Well, do you want the job? Stand out. Think about actually mailing them a thank you note. Always follow up. But they said, wait a week. Wait 3 days. Show that you're interested. The worst they might say is stop bothering me, but you don't have the job. So you haven't lost anything. This has been an excerpt of a recent PowerUP webinar on how to improve your job hunting skills. For the complete version of this online training, please visit our store at LarryJordan.com/store and look for Webinar 254. By the way, when you need to stretch your training dollars, membership in our video training library saves you money and time. You can access all of our videos for a low monthly price of only $19.99. That's more than 1,900 movies, hundreds of hours, on a wide variety of subjects. Plus, premium members can download practice media and projects. Our training covers Apple and Adobe software. We update it multiple times each month. And for more information, visit LarryJordan.com/membership. And thanks